As we move through the last couple of months of this year, we can find ourselves reflecting a bit on what has transpired over the year. And we start looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's also a good time to look forward to what we would like to accomplish in the year to come. But what if your year didn't look anything like you had hoped it would? Does that mean it wasn't a success? Hi there, I'm Melissa Schultz, and I am passionate about helping faith based entrepreneurs just like you break through all the things that are holding you back from the business that God has called you to. A business that not only brings you joy, but helps you in making more money. If you're looking for mindset and business coaching to help you break through to the next level, then stick around. You're in the right place. So, as I was saying, as we move through those last couple of months, we can find ourselves really reflecting on what has happened and trying to plan out what we would like for the new year. For me, this process happens over a period of time. It isn't a one and done. I do it this way for a number of reasons. For one, I get distracted or I think of 15 other things that I should be doing, but it also gives me an opportunity to tune in and ask God what He thinks. I really want to hear what's on His heart and how I can partner with Him. So, as I started to reflect on this past year, I remembered some of the highs and lows, just like anyone else. The problem began when I started to focus too much on the things that I didn't accomplish, the goals I didn't reach. Do you ever do that? Focus on the things you didn't do or didn't accomplish? Well, the world tells us that we need to be measuring everything from our waistline to social media metrics and our bank account. Am I right? As entrepreneurs, we do need to look at the number of visitors going to our website, our social media metrics. We need to be tracking our profits and losses and tracking how many clients we served. That is important, absolutely. So don't get me wrong, because what we pay attention to grows. And since God has called us to our business, He wants us to grow it and He wants us to serve others. We need to make sure that we're doing our best to do just that. So if you need help tracking those things, let me know. We can get some systems in place and make it easier for you to do so, because we do need to pay attention to our business and the metrics. But back to the problem and me focusing on the things I didn't accomplish. Um, well, as I was, sitting and reflecting, what what came to me was that what the world says is valuable or worthy of recognition is different than what God says. What the world says is success looks different than what God would say is a success. And it's important for us to plan and set goals, but our worth should not be tied to the outcome. Your worth is not your paycheck or your profit. And let me say that again for those of you in the back. Your worth is not your paycheck or your profit. Who determines your worth? Well, like I said, for me, that is God. When we start focusing on what we don't have or didn't accomplish, it takes our eyes off the impact. When we look at how we're making a positive impact, for example, the impact of lives of others, you'll see how valuable it actually is. So instead, what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, what impact did I have this year? And I don't care if it was one person. If that is what you were called to do and you did it to the best of your ability, it's huge, my friend. It's huge. So while I was talking to God about this concept, I had this picture in my mind. And the picture that came to mind was a standard ruler, right? Like inches on it for those of us that use that. And so, at this mark, say like an inch, the world would say that our social media metrics should be here. And at this point, maybe 2 inches, the world says this is what we should be achieving. And at this point of inch 3, it says this is how much money you should be earning. You get the point, right? Well, um, then I saw 2 cliffs with a deep ravine. And in order to get from one cliff to the other cliff, there was a cross a plank that came straight across to connect the two and then went down. So you were actually looking at the cross. And I'm sure you've probably seen pictures like that. They're, available in other places on social media and whatnot. But as I looked at that and kind of saw that in my mind, I had to cross in the middle, and that's where I saw that cross that bridged the 2 cliffs for us to walk on. And God kind of pointed out to me that I was looking at the wrong things. And he asked me to do if the things that he asked me to do over the last couple of years, sorry, I got lost when I was looking at my points, have been focused on inner growth and serving in new ways. So I was focusing on the wrong things as I started to reflect. And I really wanted to, I just wanted to point that out to you in case you have had a couple of years that have been challenging and difficult, to say the least. Um, you know, with all that's been going on, it's very likely entrepreneurs have really had to think of their business in a different way, how to pivot differently, and so on. So I really want you to look at the fact that you do have an impact. So after serving 26 years as a virtual assistant, and I had been serving business owners and nonprofits, God made it clear that He wanted me to help business owners know how to partner with Him. And just like that, He gave me breakthrough from anxiety, from the imposter syndrome. And as I understood what He was saying to me, um, it was a way that I could start serving Him and start to see the impact that I would have on people within my sphere. So, my question to you is, what are you doing to serve God? He has called you to a business because of your unique gifts and talents. Are you walking out the things that He's asked you to partner with Him on? I'd love for you to share in the comments below, or if it feels too personal, which it can sometimes, feel free to email me. And as you reflect back and you feel like you're seeing more failures than successes, I want to challenge you to look with a different measuring stick. I would also suggest that you ask God what His perspective is. After all, His is really the only one that matters. I don't want to start a project without consulting Him and say, oh yeah, God, would you bless this? Because if we commit our plans to Him, then He will help us walk those out. So I don't know about you, but I like the idea of living out God's purpose. After all, He created us, and His plans are so much better than anything we could come up with. I love that He uses me and my gifts, the unique gifts that He gave me. So I say yes. And I would ask you to look at this a little bit different with a different measuring stick. I also want to invite you to subscribe to this channel and check out my free resource called Clear the Clutter, where I show you how to get off that hamster wheel of all those thoughts that are spinning in your head. And you'll find the link below that you can go and download that for free, and it'll explain everything on how to do that. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.